Hi, there are 6 golden rules to buying quality properties. In this video, I'm going to talk about these rules and I'm going to call them the 6 C's. What you need to remember is that this is a deselection process. Deselect and reject until you are left with nothing but outstanding properties. The first C is C for capacity. What we're looking for is 3 or 4 bedroom houses, not 1 or 2 bedroom flat or a house, because if you've only got 1 bed, you've got a problem with transiency. People don't like to live alone for too long. So what happens is they'll move in, then they'll meet someone they like and they want to get together with, and they'll move out and go and set up a home somewhere else. With a 2-bed place, you might get a family move in, it will stay for a little while. They've got 1 child already, so they're using 2 bedrooms, but then another child comes along and then they move out. Now the average tenant change costs around £1,500 at each time. Now 1 change a year is £15,000 over 10 years. So we want to buy properties where a good tenant will want to stay for life. Ones where mum and dad live up the road, uncle down the road, and all school friends live on the next street. The second C is for city. That is the location that you're going to choose to buy your investment properties in. Now don't just rush out and buy where you live. You need to find an area that gives the best investment return. That doesn't mean you can't buy in the area you live in if the area you're living in fits all these rules and you know you're already living in a good investment area. Now when you buy a stock or shares, you want the best return on that investment, and it's the same with property. An example is this. If I live in, say, York, I can buy a property for £150,000 that will rent for £700 a month. If I drive 35 miles to Scarborough, however, I can buy 2 properties worth £75,000 each, and these will rent out for £560 a month each. Now that's £1,120 a month of rental income. Over time, the value of the properties will increase by a similar percentage. This means that properties in Scarborough will go up by a similar amount to those in York. In fact, they will go up by a similar amount to the whole country. Now I know I would rather have the extra £420 a month in rent in income from 2 properties in Scarborough than the 1 property in York, because that's an extra £5,000 a year. Now in another video I will talk about building your expert team. When you learn this, you can see that this can be done hands-free. We can build an expert team of outstanding people. And once you've done this, these people can look after your properties for you. You can live 100 miles or 200 miles away from your investment area. Now also, I'm not saying all go out and invest in Scarborough. Scarborough's a nice place, but there are plenty of other places that are much better. Now we can't just rely on these 2 C's. So what's the next one? The third C is for capital. That is capital growth. UK house prices go up an average of 7.9% per year. That's data that can be confirmed from a land registry website. You can get on there and look for yourself, and it'll show you that it includes downturns, drops, flat periods. It's on average 7.9% increase. Now this average is very good. But if you want to make sure you get that, you can do that by following 4 simple rules. 1 is buy in a town or city. That town or city's got to have a population of 80,000 plus. 2 is buy within 5 miles of a town or city centre, and you measure that from a town hall or a train station. If it's a large city like Manchester, Birmingham or London, you can make that 7 miles. 3 is buy close to a great secondary school. That's defined by Ofsted. It's easy to get on their website and read the ratings, and they need to be good or outstanding schools. 4 is buy from close to a good public transport network. That's bus, tram, train, and certainly on good road networks. These 4 simple rules will guarantee that you see this 7.9% average capital growth per year. I'm going to say it again. 1, buy in a town or city. 2, buy within 5 miles of the town or city centre. 3, buy close to a great secondary school. And 4, buy on a good public transport. If you buy in a small town or village and the village factory shuts, people lose their jobs and microeconomics take over. You will then see no house value rises for 5 to 10 years. Right, so these are 3 of the 6 C's, but what we need to know is the other 3. So what's the 4th C? The 4th C is for cash flow. Now, once you buy an investment property, you should never need to put money into the deal again, ever. And you can do this by making sure you buy them with enough great cash flow. It may sound obvious, but cash flow is particularly important. So what's the rule? There are several things you need to consider to pass this rule. Rent. Now, see what the rent is for a particular property. In this example, we're going to use £600. So we've got a £600 rent. The next part of the rule is a mortgage. We can get crazy rates at the moment. We work out what the mortgage will be at 4% for your cash flow check. That's an interest-only mortgage. If you do this, you then know it will cover you for at least the next 5 to 8 years. The next part is maintenance. We work on an £80 a month average. That's across all your properties, regardless of what the rent is. It's just an average that works out right. On top of that, we'll put £20 a month insurance. That's generally less than that, but if you've got £20 a month allowance, then you can cover it and you'll be okay. We're also going to add in an agency fee. That's 10% plus VAT. In this case, that's £72 a month. Now, you might manage the property yourself, and that's fine. And if you do that, then you've got £72 a month better cash flow. But you work it out now, because at some time in the future, you might decide that I don't want to do this anymore. You might get ill and you want to use an agent. Your partner might get ill, for whatever reason. Budget it now, then it's covered. Now, if we add the mortgage at £300, maintenance at £80, insurance at £20, and an agent fee of £72 a month. Add all these together, then take them away from your rent of £600. That gives you a profit and a cash flow of £182 a month. Now, I said at the start of this section that you should never need to put money into this deal again. And the way we make sure we avoid that is you take this profit and you multiply it by 11. Now, that total must be greater than 1 month's rent. That way if you do have a change in tenant and your property's empty for a few weeks while you find another tenant, that your profits for the year will cover that void period. So in this case, we've got a profit of £128 a month. You multiply that by 11 and it comes to £1408, which is a lot more than £600 a month. So that actually covers you for 2 months. Now, if we're only making a profit of £50 a month, which you might be tempted to do because it's still a profit, but you multiply that by 11 and you only got £550, not £600 a month. So in that case, it's a no. If that doesn't work, even though all your other 6 C's may work, you need to reject it. Then go and find another property that will work. There are plenty out there. It may take a while, but you will find them. Now, the 5th C is for check. Now, this is the biggest one that's missed by even a lot of serious investors. You need to check your property will always rent well before you buy it. It is important. As soon as you agree to buy a property, then advertise it for rent. You can use Zoopla or local newspapers and advertise the property. You're looking for 10 replies within a week, otherwise you need to walk away. And I don't care how many of the other 6 C's it meets, if it doesn't pass this C for check, do not buy it. If you buy it and then find you need to reduce the rent because you haven't checked it properly, you've just unticked the cash flow box. Now, if 5 people are interested and 3 view it and 1 wants it, they've chosen you and you didn't choose them. But if 20 people are interested and 10 view it and 5 want it, you can then ask for bank statements, wage slips, guarantors and everything else you need to make sure you get the best tenants you can, the ones who are going to stay in your properties for a very long time. Final C is for contingency. Do not put every single penny you have into your property investing. Always keep 5% as a buffer to protect you. So if you're investing 100,000, then actually use 95,000 to buy the properties, get them all up and running, and keep the extra 5% in a rainy day contingency fund. Now if you're investing $1 million, you're actually using 950,000 and keeping 50,000 in a separate bank account just in case something goes wrong and you need to draw on it to keep it in a good condition. Any great business has a contingency to protect it, and property is a business, so you need to do the same thing. So that's it. Those are the 6 C's. If you follow these 6 rules, and you will only ever buy outstanding properties. And remember what I said at the start of this video, this is a deselection process. I promise you that people who follow these rules and stick to them will only buy great properties. People that don't follow the rules may still do well for a while, but after a time they'll start to struggle. The property will not do so well consistently unless it meets all of the 6 C's. Please do not buy any investment property unless it does meet these 6 rules. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click on like and subscribe to the channel and look out for more of my videos on property investing. Thank you.